My brother waited until 26 relatives were watching. The house has to be refinanced. There is a $90,000 second mortgage against it. Then Curtis looked at me. That is what happens when one person leans on a family for 12 years. I took the summary from his hand. My mother's signature was dated March 14th. At 10:40 that morning, she was beside me on a church bus outside Atlanta, 400 miles from the title office. So who signed it? My name is Denise Rowe. I am 58 years old. For 12 years, I lived in my mother's house on Vance Street in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and for 12 years, my family had a word for me: burden. Nobody used it to my face until that Sunday. They used the polite version. Denise is between things. Denise is helping Mama for now. For now started the spring my mother fell in the driveway, and ended the Sunday my brother stood up in her front room with a folder. Here is what for now cost me. In August of that first year, I was offered the office manager position at a community college in Greensboro. Payroll, registration, the front desk of an entire campus. $61,000 a year and a parking space with my name printed on it. I asked for a week to think about it. On the fourth day, my mother could not remember whether she had eaten lunch, and I called Marcia Hollins and told her no. Marcia is the registrar there now. 2 weeks before that Sunday, she emailed me about an assistant registrar opening. The job was mine if I could start in August, but she needed my answer by July 15th. I had not answered her. I was going to let the 15th go by the way I had let 12 years go by. My brother Curtis is 54. He builds decks and sunrooms under the name Rowe Contracting. He is the one who arrives at Christmas with a cooler and a story, and he is very good in a room. That Sunday, he had the room. I did not want to do this today, he said, which is what people say when they have planned to do it today. Mama borrowed against this house, $90,000, and everybody in here knows where it went. Somebody has been living in this house since 2014 without paying a dime. My cousin Ray said, "Come on now, Curtis." Curtis lifted the folder the way a man lifts evidence. I am not saying it to be cruel. I am saying the math. My mother is 80. She was in her chair by the window with her hands folded in her lap. She said, "That is not right." She said it twice. The second time it came out thin, and Yvette patted her arm and told her not to work herself up, and the room moved along the way rooms do when an old woman says something inconvenient. What stayed with me was how quickly the room dismissed her. I did not argue. Arguing is how you lose a room. I asked Curtis if I could keep the paper for a minute. He handed it over with a little shrug, because a woman who cooks and drives to appointments is not somebody you protect a document from. Loan summary, Piedmont Savings, second mortgage against 412 Vance Street, $90,000. Closed March 14th, 3 years ago, at Cardinal Title Services in Wilmington. I have driven my mother to every appointment she has had for 12 years. I know where she was on almost any day you could name, because I am the one who writes it on the calendar that hangs on the refrigerator door. March 14th was underlined in green ink. Mount Zion Senior Trip, Atlanta. I gave the paper back and I said thank you. Then I went into the kitchen and took a photograph of the calendar. Monday morning, I called Piedmont Savings, not to clear my name. I want to be honest about that. I called because my mother's name was sitting on a document she did not understand, and she cannot stand up in a room and be believed anymore. I can. The woman on the phone told me she was not able to discuss the account. Of course she was not. So I asked her one question. Could my mother request her own closing file? She could. It took 9 days. I drove my mother to the branch on Sunset Avenue, and she sat with her purse on her knees and asked for her own paperwork in her own name. They handed it to her in a brown envelope. She passed it to me in the car without opening it. 41 pages. I read it at the kitchen table over 2 nights, with the photograph of the calendar propped against the sugar bowl. Page 1, her signature. It leaned to the right. My mother's handwriting has leaned left since 2009. Page 11. Contact information on the loan application. A phone number that has never been my mother's. An email address ending in rowecontracting.com. Page 26. Disbursement instruction. $90,000 wired on March 17th to a business account at a different bank. Account holder, Rowe Contracting LLC. None of it went to my mother, the house, the property taxes, or me. Page 33. Cardinal Titles closing record. March 14th, 10:40 in the morning. At 10:40 that morning, I was on Interstate 85 with my mother asleep on my shoulder and a paper sack of oranges in my lap. Sister Pauline took a picture of the two of us because my mother's mouth was hanging open. Pauline's phone stamped the photograph 10:42 a.m. and tagged it outside Commerce, Georgia. The church's insurance manifest carried 31 names. 2 of them were ours. I sat in that kitchen and understood that my brother had not lost his temper on a Sunday. He had needed somewhere to put that debt, and he knew the family would put it on me. I did not confront Curtis. I took the file to my mother. I put the pages in front of her one at a time and read them out loud slowly. When I got to the account holder line, she asked me to read it again. I read it again. She sat for a while with her hands in her lap. Then she said, "Call them back and tell them I want it looked into." I said, "Mama, you understand who that is." She said, "I know exactly who it is." She signed the request for a fraud review with her left-leaning signature, and she signed a second page saying that Denise Rowe and Curtis Rowe could both be present when the bank explained what it found. It took 5 weeks. The bank set the meeting for a Thursday at 2 o'clock. The meeting took place in a second-floor conference room with a whiteboard, 8 chairs, and a box of tissues nobody touched. Curtis came in like a man answering a clerical error. He shook the specialist's hand. He said, "Whatever this is, we will get it straightened out." Emmanuel Boyd, Senior Fraud Specialist. Gray suit, reading glasses, the flattest voice I have ever heard in my life. He did not accuse Curtis. He read the findings in the same flat voice he had used to introduce himself. He said, "Mrs. Rowe, you have told us you did not sign the March 14th agreement." My mother said, "I did not." He said, "We reviewed the file. The signing was recorded at 10:40 in the morning in Wilmington. You provided a photograph time-stamped and geotagged outside Commerce, Georgia, along with the church's passenger manifest. Our examiner has also flagged the signature as inconsistent with your other documents on file." Curtis said, "Mama gets confused." Mr. Boyd turned 1 page. He said, "The loan proceeds, $90,000, were disbursed on March 17th to a business account at another institution. The account holder is Rowe Contracting LLC. The contact number and the email address on the application belong to that same business." Then he closed the file and waited. Curtis said my name. He said, "Denise." Like I was the one who had done something to him. I did not answer. I had already said everything I had to say in a kitchen at 11 o'clock at night to a photograph of a refrigerator calendar. My mother turned her head and said one sentence to her son. She said, "You used my name." 4 quiet words. Curtis looked down at the table. The bank suspended collection that day. After its legal review, it recorded a release of the deed of trust. My mother still had affidavits to sign and a police report to consider. I am not going to pretend that part was clean. That Thursday was July 14th. Before I drove away from the bank, I answered Marcia's email. 2 lines. I am interested. When can I come up? By that evening, Yvette had called my aunts, and they had already decided what I should do next. They wanted me in the back bedroom permanently. They wanted me on the taxes, the yard, the insurance. Now that everybody could finally see what I had been doing, everybody had a use for it. I said no. Yvette called me again on a Tuesday. She said I believed him. She said it like she wanted me to carry that for her too. I said, I know you did, and I let that be the whole conversation. The word burden disappeared. The apologies never came. I am the assistant registrar at a community college in Greensboro. I have an apartment with a balcony and 1 chair on it, because so far 1 is all I need. My mother did not end up alone. Ray's daughter moved into the front bedroom, and she is paid every 2 weeks, on paper, out of my mother's account, the way I never was. I drive down on Saturdays. I bring oranges. 14 months after that Thursday, I took my mother on the Mount Zion spring trip again. Charleston that year. She fell asleep on my shoulder somewhere south of Florence, and Sister Pauline took another picture. In that one, my mother's mouth is closed, and mine is open, because I was laughing at something my mother had just said about the driver. They called me the burden for 12 years. Leaving was the first decision I made without asking what the family needed. Would you have confronted Curtis first, or put the file in your mother's hands? Tell me in the comments. I read every one of them.